chances of peace really rise, and rises exponentially. That's what will happen when Donald Trump is president of the United States. We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem. And we will send a clear signal that there is no daylight between America and our most reliable ally, the State of Israel.
Today is Donald Trump's first full day as the 45th President of the United States.
But it was not all a celebration. More than 200 anti-Trump demonstrators were arrested during a day of protest in Washington. Some set fires or threw bricks into windows of businesses.
The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. My announcement today marks the beginning of a new approach to conflict between Israel and the Palestinians. That it is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. This is a long overdue step to advance the peace process and to work towards a lasting agreement.
This is a historic day. Jerusalem has been the capital of the Jewish people for 3,000 years. It's been the capital of Israel for nearly 70 years. It was here that our temple stood, our kings ruled, our prophets preached. Jerusalem has been the focus of our hopes, our dreams, our prayers for 3 millennia. From every corner of the earth, our people yearn to return to Jerusalem. This decision reflects the President's commitment to an ancient but enduring truth, to fulfilling his promises, and to advancing peace. The President's decision is an important step towards peace, for there is no peace that doesn't include Jerusalem as the capital of the State of Israel.
Is there a Messiah
In Judaism,
in Judaism?
Jews invented the Messiah. But it's not the same Messiah that most people think about.
Okay.
Because when Christians think of the Messiah, they think of someone who's divine.
Yeah.
They think of, the end of days. What we have for the Messiah is a man, a king of this earth, who's going to bring peace among the nations in this world.
And he will not be divine.
He will not be divine.
Is a man, king of this earth, who's going to bring peace among the nations in this world.
According to Jewish tradition, he has three things he's supposed to do. Number one, he's going to reconstitute the Jewish kingdom or the Jewish state. Number two, he's going to bring peace with the neighbors. And number three, he's going to rebuild that
Rebuild
temple.
the temple. Here we are. This is 2015. What are you going to do now? What is contemporary Jewish position on the temple?
The Jews think of the world in terms of this dream that once existed in the world. It was taken away. The Jews want to bring back into the world.
That is the reconstruction of the temple.
The reconstruction of the temple as the crowning symbol of this era of justice and peace that we're supposed to be assisting to bring back into the world.
Daniel 9:27, in the midst of the week, that 7-year period of time between the rapture and the second coming of Christ, there has to be a temple there. Jesus confirmed that, Matthew 24:15. Then you see the abomination of desolation. Apostle Paul confirmed it, 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Antichrist walks into the temple, the abomination of desolation takes place. And in Revelation chapter 11 and verse 1, John is told to measure the space for the temple. So we have 4 proof texts. There will be a temple on the Temple Mount. At that point, when the Antichrist appears in the beginning of that 7-year tribulation period, he confirms a peace agreement. The Jewish people lay down their weapons. They think they're at peace. They think the Messiah has come. There's a coalition of nations coming in to the area of Israel to wipe them off the face of the earth. Well, Jesus Christ intercedes. And in Daniel chapter 11 and verse 45, it says that the Antichrist, after the Lord has given the victory to the Jewish people, the Antichrist usurps that victory and tells the Jewish people to put their temple upon the holy mountain of God there in the city of Jerusalem. At that point, they build a temple. The temple is built. It has to be up before the midway point of the tribulation, and it's going to be standing there. They restore the temple sacrifices and everything else. Everything has been prepared. They have the utensils. They have the men who studied the priestly duties. I met recently when I was in Israel with the man who is the chairman of the Sanhedrin, the 70 wise Jewish scholars that operate the temple. He said he has his garment hanging in his closet in his home, ready to put on and report to the Temple Mount. So all the preparations have been made.
What we've got here is this new Sanhedrin and the dedication of the third temple altar, which is unbelievable to see. We thought this was fake news, friends. We didn't realize this was even real news. We thought it was one of those weird articles on the internet, but it turns out 10:30 a.m. this morning in Jerusalem, we actually have a dedication ritual for the altar, sacrificial altar of the third temple. The day after Hanukkah, the feast of dedication, we have this dedication ceremony by the new Sanhedrin.
Building the third temple. Then everybody will prosper, because this is what this temple is for the whole world.
So you think that there could be some union between all the religions as part of this?
Absolutely. We already have unity, but everybody's afraid from the terrorists. So this is our job, to unify everybody to worship the only true living God in the third temple with all the nations that will worship God.
You think we're in the time it's almost here, the third temple?
Yes, absolutely. Many Muslims, I'm talking about the high, let's say, rank or hierarchy in the Muslim religions, came to us and asked us, please build a temple. Why? Because the temple is for everybody. It's for the whole nations to prosper and thrive. So they came to us and asked, please build a temple. Now, the problem is with the radicals. The New World, without any, let's say, negative and forbidden feelings, like hatred, like revenge, like it will be only loving, appreciation, honoring. So this will be a new world, but not all order. It will
Kodesh, or headquarters of the temple organizations, has a mission to rebuild a Jewish house of worship on Jerusalem's Temple Mount. The Jewish group, however, maintains that the location is key for fulfilling biblical prophecies.
It is a new start of the redemption, and we hope that next year or even before we will be on the Temple Mount. The law will come from here. All the 70 nations, they will have a seat in the court, and the law will be the law of the Bible.
Under the watch of high security, the sheep is brought to a secluded area.
We're on another milestone in the process of return of the Jewish people to their homeland.
Young men playing the role of priests dress in biblical-looking clothes. It's now time to begin. Everyone gathers to pray as the priests reenact ancient traditions from the Bible.
The event that takes place here is not an event in itself. It's a practice. It's a training. And people are coming here to learn, to understand.
Out of the eye of the public, the sheep is slaughtered. Its blood is brought out for ritual use.
And maybe this year, and 4 days later, the representative of the groups of the Israelites will come with their lamb to the yards of the temple. We build a kosher altar and start all the ritual of Pesach lambs. Messiah will be the judge.
The Mashiach.
The Mashiach will be the judge, and not for what he sees, and not for what he hears, but what he smells.
You believe the Mashiach ben David is coming to
Mashiach
this
ben
temple?
David is very soon, and he is a Jew, and he is not Jesus. And if the Christians want to hold it, they can hold it. But we will never change our mind. We prefer to go back to Auschwitz and not to change our religion. This is the main thing. We are loyal.
One of the very first things when Trump was elected, the rabbis in Israel calling on him and Putin to use their international clout to do what? To rebuild the temple. Don't think this can't happen. I think impetus is on our side right now. I think we're moving towards a moment. And the rabbis over there, some of what the mystical rabbis are saying is very, very curious right now. This one, Trump upset victory, divinely sent to begin messianic process, say Israeli rabbis, right? There have been at least a dozen Jewish rabbis that have said the Messiah is on earth now. He's been identified. He is soon going to make himself known. Well, some key things have to happen for the messianic figure in the Jewish mindset. For the Messiah to arrive, you can't think of him like we think of Messiah. We think of Messiah after the model of Jesus. He's the Son of God, divine birth, all of that. That's not the way the Jews look at the Messiah. They're looking for a king. They're looking for a political leader. As a matter of fact, Messiah to them means the anointed one, and it goes back to the ancient days when they would anoint a king and recognize him as this is the man that God sent. And what they're looking for is several things. First of all, they're looking for somebody in a political figure who can lead decisive battles in defense of Israel. This is why the only politician on the face of the earth that was standing up and saying, if I'm elected president, I'm going to be the biggest friend that Israel's ever had. We're going to undo the Iran deal, well, blah, 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 right? And being a friend of Benjamin Netanyahu. Secondly, they're looking for, when the Messiah comes, there will be an ingathering of Jews from around the world back into the Holy Land. That's why the rabbis, on the eve of his election, went on television and said, we need to call now Jews from around the world, come back to Jerusalem because the Messiah is here, right?
A growing number of Jews are returning to Israel. It's part of a fulfillment of prophecy spoken in the Bible.
Earlier this year, immigrants from North America landed at Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion International Airport to make Israel their home. Seeing Jewish people return to Israel is literally watching Bible prophecy unfold. Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel all speak of the Jewish return to the land. Since 2014, there's been a 79% increase of inquiries about assistance to return to Israel.